Hello everyone and welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about one of the best Wither builds in the game, and this build specifically utilizes the Inferno and Radiance skills. This build is also a combination between range damage and obviously melee damage, and it excels at both of them. And if you guys are struggling to get any of the items in the build, or if you need any vigor, you can go over to the website U4GM. They have all types of things you might need, including items and vigor, and you can use code SERIF for 5% off at checkout. Make sure you guys check that out if you need a little bit of help. But with that out of the way, as you can see, the damage on the melee aspect of this build is quite insane. I kill one of these cage guys with one charged melee attack, so it does do quite a bit of damage. And I honestly believe that the weapons that I'm using for this build are some of the best weapons in the game and very, very overlooked. So I'm also not entirely sure if someone else has made a build with these weapons. I haven't really been keeping up or checking on the other builds on YouTube, but to my knowledge, this is the first of its kind. And the weapons in question that we are going to be talking about are the fungus encrusted pickaxes. And we are going to be using two of these for the build. As you can tell, the damage from this build is pretty spectacular, and mine are only +8 and +7. So there is still improvement to be had. Obviously, you can also get your skills higher. My skills aren't exactly crazy high. I think I'm like level 70 or something in these videos. But regardless, these are going to be pretty awesome for damage, and since they're axes, they have a pretty quick moveset as well. And even though these axes have great damage, they scale very well with both Radiance and Inferno, and they have a good moveset. That's not everything that you need to know about them, because they also have a poison proc, so they're able to do poison damage on top of the Umbral damage and Wither damage that you're going to be doing, and it is great for killing bosses. This is one of the reasons why this build is so awesome, is because you are always going to proc poison, which is great on literally every boss in the game, because you're getting constant tick damage, and that is incredibly valuable. As for the catalyst, we are using the Sunken Beseecher. This is without a doubt the best catalyst in the game. Mine is only +6, and I'm still able to do tons of damage with my spells. You can use the Charm of Fortune Sight, because that one is accessible to you at the very beginning of the game, but obviously if you are playing into a late game, you're definitely going to want to grab the Sunken Beseecher and upgrade it, because the scaling is so much better, and the higher your Radiance and Inferno skills are, the more damage you're going to do, which is why it's just much better overall. As for the spells of the builds, we are going to be using Latiner's Javelin. We're also going to be using the Barrage of Echoes and Umbral Weapon. These three spells are absolutely necessary, and the last two you don't exactly need. You can do whatever you want with the last two, it really doesn't matter. But next I'm going to be talking about the armor of the build. So we are using the Ruiner Helm. I think that this just looks great. We have the Harrower Armor, the Purger Gauntlets, and the Harrower leggings. You don't need this armor specifically, I just think that it has a nice balance of protections and it looks great. As for the tink that I have on it, it is the exclusive silver one, and I just think that this one looks the best with the build, because when we're using Umbral Weapon on our weapons, they turn blue, and I just think that overall this makes it look pretty spectacular, as I'll show you guys right here. It looks pretty nice with the all blue. It's like this blue, silver, and black kind of look, and I just really like the aesthetic of this armor in general, but you could use whatever one you want. Obviously, it's just personal preference. As well as the armor, you can use any armor you want to, if you want to opt for a more heavy armor that is obviously more practical. For the amulet, we are using the Faceless Carving, and this is going to increase our Wither damage. We then have the Ring of Night's Fire. This one will also increase our Wither damage. You can use other rings for this if you want. Then we have the Puissance Root, and this one is going to increase the power of our sorceries. This is pretty good, especially if you want to be more of a caster with this build, because both options are very viable. And for the stats of the build, we have 9 strength, 8 agility, 15 endurance, 30 vitality, 38 radiance, and 38 inferno. I also started with the Inferno starter class, so my Inferno was already pretty high, and I am overall a level 85. So now I'm just going to show you guys the damage of the build and just talk about how to use the build in general. So for the spells of this build, the Barrage of Echoes is going to be incredibly powerful, especially if you get your Catalyst all the way max level. And the way you're going to want to use this, you can pretty much use it like a shotgun, so you can pull up on any type of enemy, boss, or whoever, and you just look directly at the ground right in front of that enemy, and you are just going to use it like that, and you are going to spam all of the echoes into the ground, and it does tons of damage. I really wouldn't be using that as a long range option, more of just kind of like a shotgun shotgun because it does incredible damage. And as for the javelin, that is just going to be more of a long range option. It's great for poke, it doesn't cost too much, and it does insane damage. It's outstanding at killing bosses, and it's also probably one of the most versatile builds in the game because it does great damage at all ranges. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like and a sub to the channel. It helps me out a lot. But that's pretty much it for me today, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.